Beloved, I would like to read a verse from the Bible, which is Matthew chapter 9, from verse 35 to 38. My Bible says this, 35 to 38. Jesus went through all the towns and the villages, teaching in the synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowd, he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. They were helpless. So then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." Beloved, in this verse, the Bible is clear in showing what Jesus came to fulfill in this world. The first verse we read is saying that Jesus went through villages and towns proclaiming the kingdom of heaven. By this, beloved, one thing I do understand is that the world is suffering from the leadership in its all aspects, being political, spiritual, in every aspect. The world is in a lack of leadership. And the true leadership, we found it in Jesus Christ. And that leadership of Jesus Christ, which is a reflection of the kingdom of heaven, is for the betterness of humankind. So maybe you are asking yourself what the kingdom of heaven really has been doing. For this first year, we thank God for many things we have been able to accomplish, especially in terms of doing ministry through other ministry, being a help to other ministries. We have been preaching the gospel, helping the French Evangelical Church of New York, the Grace of God Church, and the Church of God of New Rochelle. And recently, God enabled us, through the trip we made to Congo, to create a partnership with an orphanage down there. So we have been able to provide food, clothing to those children. And this is through our personal fund and the generosity of our family members, especially my family-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my sisters-in-law, who provided for the fund we used to help these kids. And you know, this is the work of the kingdom of heaven. The Heaven Cultural Center is not just preaching the gospel in a theoretical way. We are preaching the gospel by example, by making, I want to say we make the gospel material and physical. It means helping, finding need, and providing to that need. Supplying, I would like to say. So, and with this trip in Congo, we had the opportunity to start a cell group of Heaven Cultural Center, which will be the contact point on the ground of expanding the kingdom of heaven in that part of the world. So with this cell group, we will work hardly to make the kingdom of heaven real to every humankind. So what is the Heaven Cultural Center? As we said last year in the introduction of this ministry, the Heaven Cultural Center is other than God's vision, mission, and values. And through God's vision, we see that God wanted the earth to be the extension of the kingdom of heaven. And mission is for the betterness of humankind life. And that's why Jesus came. Because Jesus' mission was to return humankind to this vision of the beginning, to be the citizen of kingdom of heaven. And the values, we know the values of God is a true love. True love we show. We care about our neighbors. True love, we love God By showing love to our neighbors, we are loving God. Because the Bible says, how can you love God that you don't see if you don't love your neighbor that you see? And in the same way, I will say, how can we say that we are serving God if we cannot save our humankind, our neighbor, humankind that we are seeing in suffering? So the Heaven Cultural Center understand the Bible or the gospel in a practical way, and that is why we have 3 branches of mission that we are putting in place in order to further the kingdom of heaven. So we are planning in the future, with the help of God, to have the 3 areas that will be under the auspices of the Heaven Cultural Center, which are the Complex Immaculate, that will be an orphanage. We have the Mary Ferguson Foundation that will be providing scholarship for the betterness of humankind. And we have a CUD that will be a branch of agriculture and help for peasants and farmers in rural areas. So the purpose of these ministries, as I said, or these branches of the Heaven Cultural Center, is to further the kingdom of heaven, or to make the kingdom of heaven physical and practical on earth. So, beloved, the harvest is already ready, if you allow me to speak in that way, and we are praying that God to provide or to send the harvester to go and harvest. So the Heaven Cultural Center have said yes, we are already in action, and we thank God for the year 2019 that we have just ended yesterday, and we are hopeful entering 2020 that God is going to do great things. We are going to do great things, even that will go beyond our expectations. So we bless God, and to Him and Him only be all the glory and honor forever and ever. Amen.